All right, music fans, I'm back. It's Dave, and it's the Real Music Observer. Fired up over a new album. By the way, we're talking about real music in real time for real people just like you and me. Actually, the album I'm talking about is like 30 years old, but it was just released. Don Barnes, lead singer for 38 Special, has been the lead vocalist for 38 Special most of the time. He was interrupted a few years by Max Carl. You know, I never found out what went down, if it was a health problem, if it was, the commercial aspect of 38 Special, that they were trying too hard to make them into a top 40 band. And Strength in Numbers will prove that to you, that was a very commercial-sounding, high-gloss album, and it lacked all of the kick of, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys and their earlier stuff. But it was still a good record. By today's standards, it's fantastic. But I'm not sure. All I know is this album was recorded 30 years ago. It was put on a shelf by A&M Records. Some bootlegs of some of the stuff were out on YouTube and so forth, lousy quality. Now it's out thanks to this small label called Melodic Rock Records, which is doing fantastic work. And all of the artwork that Don Barnes actually, endorsed is on this album cover. Really cool album cover. There's a disc for all the originals, the way they were recorded, and then there's a disc of material that was beefed up, pretty much the same songs, but with higher octane levels. I mean, this thing just crashes and burns and cooks, and crashes and burns actually sounds like it's a bad thing, but this thing just has so much freaking octane when you put it in the CD player or put the headphones on, that it's like the old Memorex commercial. You're going to be hanging on, trying to listen to this because it's got so much oomph. And, the tunes are fantastic. Also, you got ace writers, ace musicians. The Porcaro brothers from Toto, they're on this. Dan Huff plays guitar on this. So you're getting some great guitar work. I was thinking maybe Jeff Carlisi may have played on this, but for all intents and purposes, it looks like a Dan Huff thing. Oh, and Heart's drummer, too, Denny Carmassi, plays on this, and he just kills it. So, and Martin Briley, by the way, who's one of the writers, also plays keyboards and guitars on some of these tracks. And Briley kind of toiled sort of anonymously during the 1980s, putting out a couple of albums. He had one really impressive song that I can't think of the name, but it was one of those songs that I'm going to have to look that up when I'm done with this video, because it was one of those songs that, they'll just say it was almost a novelty song, but it wasn't. It just had a real memorable theme to it. I'll have to remember what it is, and if you know what it is, you can post on here. I don't care. But 38 Special, man, they had a great run, and it was interrupted for a while. You could say they still had a great run, even with Max Carl singing Second Chance. I mean, that was a huge album. Rock and Roll Strategy was the name of that album. And then they had one more album which kind of flopped, although I think there's some really good material on that album. And then Don Barnes more or less reassembled the band with Donnie Van Zant and some new guys and so forth, and soldiered on, and is still out there touring today. But one of the songs that really hits me on this collection is Don Barnes' cover version of Feelin' Stronger Every Day, the Chicago song. Now, no horns on this. You don't need them. This is a redo. I think it's dropped like a half key, or it's dropped a little bit. Barnes with a deeper voice. He's not trying to be Peter Cetera here. He's trying to turn the rock and roll up on this and make it gritty and gutsy and even a little more soulful at the end. It's got some female singers that are adding some soul and harmony to it, and a cold ending, which is way different than the slow, eternal fade on the original Chicago version. I mean, this will take the enamel right off your teeth. I mean, this is, again, the Memorex commercial, holding on, the wind blowing, and that's what I envision here. Just on that song alone, but the rest of the album just cooks. Ride the Storm, the title track, is amazing. I Fall Back is fantastic. Looking for You. A lot of these songs are co-written with Martin Briley, like I said, who I guess is, a great songwriter. Who knew, right? I mean, but I should have. I just forgot about Martin. Like I said, I'm gonna have to check out that tune. That it's one of those like false love songs, like inverted love songs. I'm gonna have to go look it up and then give you the answer later. But again, I listened to the entire thing. After the Way is great, and also Johnny Ain't So Cool. I would check this album out. Melodic Rock Records, which is a smaller record label, has this, and I would get it from Amazon, download it, order the CD. The president of Melodic Rock Records has been telling folks who are asking questions, they're posting comments on the videos, and he says, Amazon is selling out of this. It's a 2-disc set, because you get the original versions and you get the beefed up versions, and you get the new artwork pretty much approved by Don Barnes himself. And like I say, if you're a 38 Special fan, if you like quality album-oriented rock, and you want to hear this Chicago song done in a completely just balls-to-the-wall way, you definitely want to check out this collection. You won't be disappointed. I try not to steer people wrong on here. Occasionally, people get on me, but hey, it's a video channel. So there you are. Real music observed in real time for real people just like you and me. Don Barnes. The album's called After the Storm. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon.